wanted to make a video about an epiphany I had. You cannot microwave the process. Here's what this is all about, okay? So I have had an epiphany. I feel like I have been battling the process. And what I mean by that is I wish that I could forego difficulties. I wish I could forego failures. I wish I could forego this process and just get to the successful parts. Just get to the winning part. Get to the promised land, okay? So I'm going to use an illustration that comes from the Bible, number one. And then number two, I'm going to give you an illustration from my personal life. And then three, we're going to get right into application, how it relates to your life, okay? Number one, from the Bible. The Israelites were called out of Egypt to go to the promised land, okay? They're traveling, being guided by Moses. But during that process, the 40 days, okay, to get to the promised land, you know what's happening with the Israelites? They are fighting the process. They keep looking back. They're looking back at the food. They're looking back at all the different things that they could have, and they're kind of asking, like, why have you led us here? They're missing Egypt. They're missing slavery, okay? What's so interesting, if we use those people as an example, right, the Israelites, they were fighting a process. They needed to go through the desert to get to the promised land. And I just had an epiphany today. I had a really great conversation with somebody who's very prophetic. And we were just talking about processes, right? What's so interesting is that part of the process is undoing things, so undoing the slavery mindset. In order to fight big giants, you have to believe that you are a giant. You have to believe that you are bigger than a giant. You have to believe that you are more powerful than a giant. You can't believe you are a small person that is a slave, because a slave can't fight a giant. And so part of the process, yes, it's painful because we're undoing the way you've lived, or God's undoing the way you've lived, but that is necessary to get into the promised land or get into a space where you're about to fight giants. Slave cannot walk in freedom because they don't know how. So now I'm going to give it a personal example, okay? Last year, a lot of battles, okay? When I say financial losses, when I say risk-taking and then failed moments, all of that, though, I thought, I was like, man, the devil is opposing me, right? People always use the devil. What if it's actually stripping away things that are not you? It's actually more who you are and your original design, because everything that's in you, everything in you is already capable of fighting those giants. You just didn't know it. I didn't know it. So anyway, a lot of financial losses, a lot of things happening, a lot of things I thought I needed were being taken away. But here is what is so good. I learned that all that was being stripped away was a slavery mindset. So we're going to go back to that story in the Bible. All that was being stripped away was my desire for Egypt. The more during the 40 days or walking in the desert that all of those things were being stripped away, that a necessity for financial stability, a necessity for safety, a necessity for everything to just be secure and stable, all of that was being lost, losing stability, losing security, losing everything I have placed to keep it nice and safe. All of that was actually being stripped away so that I could genuinely know the strength comes from God within us. Strength comes from God within us. It doesn't come from money. It doesn't come from stability. It doesn't even come from your talents, right? There was a time I was like, well, then it's all my talents that are bringing me success. Nope. So when all of those things get stripped away, it's actually the process. It's not the microwave that you wished it was. A microwave is, I just use my gifts, I just go and I succeed. A microwave is sticking your food in, is sticking a cupcake in the microwave, pressing a button, and then within a short period of time you get success and voila. God's way is a process. It is stripping away slavery so that you will win in the promised land. It is stripping away the things you thought were stable and successful to you, and then learning from your failures. It's actually not failures, it's actually muscle building, it's actually growth, so that when that time frame comes back and you have to make tough decisions, you know that you're not making them based on finances, you're making them based on what is right and what is a part of your original vision. You're making decisions because you're making decisions from not a slave mindset. You're making decisions from a renewed strength mindset because you've endured so much, okay? back to third, imagery. I'm baking a cupcake in the oven, and I'm not taking it out early because that cupcake won't be cooked all the way. I'm waiting for the whole process, so it is a delicious, beautiful final product, which is the way I want it to be. So what is the point of this entire video? I just feel like some people need to hear out there, do not quit in the process. In the Bible, the Israelites kept looking back, not letting the process remove a slavery mindset. So Joshua made it through the 40 days, and he was one of the Israelites that were able to make it to the promised land. Why? Because he endured the process the whole time. Endured the process, I think, allowed the thought process got to be renewed. All of the old slavery stuff had to die before they could reach the promised land. And those that didn't let it die didn't reach it. Those that did reached it. So die to the old stuff. Let the dough rise and cook and be a full cupcake so you can make it to the promised land. Those are my thoughts and my processes. I hope it encourages you.